A whole bunch of people through email and Facebook and Twitter asked.
So Seven and some other K-pop people went to a rub and tug, and now we're going to talk about prostitution in Korea.
So for those of you that didn't hear what happened, Seven and Sangchu basically went to a happy ending massage parlor and were caught by some undercover reporters, and a lot of the reactions were like,
oh my god, I can't believe that this happened. No, they would never do such a thing.
While it seems like a lot of people who are Korean were kind of like, yeah.
For us, we weren't surprised about this whatsoever because I think a lot of people don't understand how big prostitution is here in South Korea.
What I will say from the get-go is that prostitution is actually illegal in Korea. But there seems to be a lot of covering your eyes to it and shutting your ears to it and pretending that it doesn't exist.
Even though it's illegal, it's pretty much widespread illegality. For those of you who don't know just how big it is, it actually surprised me when I found out the stats about it. Supposedly, it counts for 4% of the GDP of South Korea, which works out to something like $13 billion a year people spend on sex in South Korea. And the stat that really freaked me out is that supposedly 1 out of every 5 men pay for sex 4 times a month. So think about this. If you know 5 guys, one of them, at least one of them, goes to a prostitute or different prostitutes 4 times a month, at least. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't know anybody from where I'm from in Canada that has ever gone to a prostitute or at least has ever like admitted it.
I don't even know where to go to find a prostitute in Canada. I mean, I know we have them, but it's like, I don't know where to go. While it feels like in Korea, they make it pretty clear. First off, hooker cards. They're like little tiny business cards with pictures of girls, not naked, but like
in
semi-naked or like,
and like you see like butts
and
whatnot. And at the bottom of the cards, they have phone numbers. And what do you think you call this phone number for?
It's like they were scattered everywhere. This is where little kids could see it. It was stuck underneath the windshields of the cars.
Yeah, any car that's been parked for a few hours, their like windshield wiper is full of it.
Anyone can see these anywhere and you can kind of guess what they're for.
And when you're walking around the streets of Korea as well, you might see these inflatable balloons and a lot of those are advertisements for restaurants. Like here's some chicken and beer. And some of these inflatable balloons have pictures of girls in bikinis pushing their boobs together, offering special massages. My knee is sore. Let me go to this bikini girl to rub my knee for me.
I have a sports injury. Do you think she does deep tissue massages?
Yes.
Do you think she's certified? Can I write it off on my tax?
I don't think that you want to admit this to the tax man.
Oh.
And another thing that we found hilarious, and I'm sure a lot of people found hilarious as well, is that the agency wound up saying that, oh, he didn't know that he walked into a special massage place. He was just looking for a massage because his knee was sore.
At 2 a.m.
Bullshit. Everybody knows that this is bullshit.
Yes, there are massage parlors in Korea for massaging, and this is not one of them.
If you're looking for medical massage, go to a certified doctor. Don't go to the place with the girls with the bikinis. And there's a sign outside the massage parlor that says Anma. Anma means happy ending. What do you think that is? It's not like, wow,
it's a Disney story, Simon.
My knee is miraculously better. Thank you for that. That's not what happy ending means.
Perhaps it means something like Cinderella and the Prince Charming find each other.
Well, they find each other's parts, let's say.
And the last and probably most obvious form of prostitution is the red light district, which you can literally stumble upon without knowing. We were at Yongsan Station when we first moved to Korea. Simon was playing basketball at the American Army base.
Yep.
So we were cutting through the shortcut to get to the American Army base, and there's like this street with glass. It looks like a butcher shop with like glowing red light, or I'm sorry, pink light.
They're very pink. They're not red. They're
That's
pink.
right, the pink light district. And there's girls wearing bikinis and underwear, just posing and stuff. And it's not just the Yongsan area. There's also 3 or 4 different notorious red light districts which anyone can just stumble upon.
Another thing that you might not necessarily see overtly, but you can know it's like a secret symbol for prostitution is double barbershop poles outside of buildings.
You know the like swirling ones that are like red and blue and white that are like, hey, get a haircut here.
You're not going to get a special haircut there. You're going to get a rub and tug or some other services if... Why am I even advertise this? I'm not trying to say well they're for this. I'm just saying that this is what they're for.
Don't go in there and be like, I'm looking to get a barbershop, old-fashioned hair shaving. Don't go there for that.
Old-fashioned hair shaving.
Yeah. No. It's not a barbershop.
Oh, God.
Okay. Also, something that some people might know about and some people may not are host clubs. And I don't mean like the Oron host clubs like Kiss, Kiss, Fall in Love. Now, on the legal side, these are supposed to be bars where you're just going to meet company.
Right,
just to talk.
Yes.
Yeah. And you buy extremely overpriced food and drinks. and the person that you are sitting with, you have to pay for their food and drinks. And supposedly, that's where it all stops. Just going there to talk.
Right, that's you're just being hosted with good company.
Yes.
But if you wind up getting to know them a little bit more, then you could wind up getting some extra services on top of that aren't necessarily on the menu. Think of it kind of like that, like if you have a cable guy come over to your house to set up your TV, if you pay him a little bit extra and you get in his good book, then he can set you up with those free channels. It's kind of the same thing with a host club, except in this case, instead of extra channels, you get some extra sexual services.
Yeah, which are all, of course, off the book.
Yes, and illegal, and supposedly don't happen here, but they really do.
And these places aren't like necessarily in city neighborhoods. There are some really famous locations in like Apgujeong and Gangnam, and there have been celebrity scandals in the past where like K-pop groups went to a host club, and a lot of people online, I remember reading comments, were like, I don't understand what's so bad about this.
What's so bad about this?
Yeah, but we know that host clubs have different connotations that can go deeper.
Right across the street, in fact, they have the sexy bar on the top floor, and I would be like, well, does it mean that sexy people go there?
No, it doesn't mean that. And there are all types of versions of this like just company, totally legal things happening. Like for example, you know Noraebang, the singing rooms? Well, you can also go to ones where there are really beautiful women that will sing with you in the room, and
you pay them to come to your room and sing with you and pour you drinks, and then for a little bit more,
something extra might happen. And people will go there for business meetings, and it's mostly guys. Let's be honest. When I say mostly, I mean it's guys.
1 out of every 5 men you know. Now, one of the things we want to get across with this TLDR is that I know that as soon as we do a serious topic for a TLDR, then a lot of the commenters are like, oh my god, I can't believe that everybody's like this. We did one on racism a couple weeks ago, and everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe that in all of Korea thinks that Malaysian people are like this, which isn't necessarily true. It's only some people. So don't get the idea that every single Korean man is walking around with a raging boner and just like offering everyone money to have sex with them. It doesn't work that way.
In fact, I have a close Korean friend who's a guy, and he told me that like he had a lot of uncomfortable situations where he was out with his male friends, and they would go out and they would eat and they would drink, and then when they got drunk, they would suggest going to like the sexy Noraebang or like a sexy host club or something, and he was very uncomfortable and he never went, but he got guilt tripped by the other people. So
this was what was so disturbing when you told me about it. Like his friends would be like, well, why are you ruining the fun for everybody else? Like we should be doing this as a group, and it's like it really weirded me out as well.
Now we think this is one of actually the biggest problems with Korean society. I don't mean prostitution. I mean the idea of your elder telling you what to do, and that the fact that you can't go against it.
You must respect what the elder says.
Yeah, so the problem is a lot of people will say, and this is what happened in like Seven's case and stuff as well as excuses, is that Seven's superiors in the army wanted to go and they had no choice but to be brought along. Or I didn't want to go to this bar, but my sunbae said to me, you know, well, you have to come and you can't disrespect them. So I feel like that excuse comes up a lot in Korean culture. Like people who drink too much and are throwing up on the streets, they say, oh, it's not my fault, my boss
had to do it because my boss
pressured me.
It.
Or like people who are out all night long and don't see their wife and kids, they're like,
to do it because
my boss is pressuring me. So I really
feel
like
same thing with prostitution. Oh, I have to do it because my superior is doing it. We're gonna talk more about this in our blog post. So if you want to carry on the conversation a little bit more, then click on the link here and we'll be able to discuss it to more length. So that's it for this week's TLDR. If you have a question for next week's TLDR, leave your question in the comment section below.
And check out the questions already asked. You can thumb them up to get them to our attention, or you can even send us a tweet.
And don't forget to subscribe for more TLDRs where we talk about sensitive topics that I'm sure are gonna piss off some people.
I know. You can piss off people all they want, but it's a fact.
It's out there.
It's a friggin'
fact. You
can't
deny it.
You come to Korea, you will see it, and you cannot deny it. I don't know how people deny it. I just don't get how they're like, nope, this doesn't happen in Korea.
Illegal means this happen. Oh, it happens.
I'm gonna put you in a headlock and drag you to the red light district near our home, which is 1 block away from a police station. Police station, red light district. What?